Hello again. So the first job we're going to tackle on the Range Rover is another synonymous problem. I actually had another customer that had this happen to them. Upon getting this girl running, it was running fine, compressor was building up, pumping up the air suspension, and then wallop, tensioner. These things have been the bind of many people's lives at different times. So I'll give a step-by-step way on how to, the easiest way to swap them. And then obviously fit a new fan belt and AC belt, as this has taken out both of the belts. So I've already slackened this one off. So you want to remove the upper boost pipe first. That's the first piece. Now there's going to be a bit of magic, because I'm going to do a bit of a jump onto the next part. So next, 8mm spanner, or a little ratchet. And oh my goodness, that's very tight. I don't think that's ever been off. That's how we am. Remove these two bolts. So one out, two out. Now the power steering reservoir is free. Just push that to the side. Try and keep it upright, because it will leak a bit otherwise. All I say is I've got it perfectly on its side. This will give you slight clearance. Now, they are a bit tricky to get to. I've only just serviced this. Well, I serviced it before it was actually a runner again. So it'd be a shame to lose the antifreeze. But, well, I might crimp it, maybe. No. To get more access, you'll see shortly as to why you might want to take the top hose off, and that will give you plenty of access. I may be removing the airbox momentarily. It depends on how tight that the socket is that holds it on. So, just in case you've never seen one before. No, don't have one to hand. Now, hex drive, it's a 17mm Allen key head that holds it on. I have got one. Frustratingly, it's one of the in one of my other Range Rovers at the moment. Been doing a few mobile repairs, so this time I'm going to use a set of Stilsons. It's a great big nut, but when I get round to that part, I'll set up a light down there so you guys can see what's going on. Right, we're back. So, got the Stilsons ready. Start by removing the 16mm nut on top. As I say, it is a bit tight. If you want to take the engine loom off the top, you can. So remove the top bolt. I'll do it off of camera. And then this on the outside is a nut. So get a nice perch on it, and it will go. It is very tight. Sometimes you have to move the airbox. This could be one of them situations for me. There we go. I suppose in some ways it's kind of handy showing a set of Stilsons, because it is probably a tool that somebody's got lying around a bit more than a 17mm Allen key. But this should come separate from the rest of it. They do seize inside themselves though, coated up with like greasy sludge. But oh, see, finger tight. Feels that this one is just going to screw off the top. Oh no, it is taking the whole cylinder out with it. It's not really an issue. But I'll just whip that off with the camera off. Sorry about that, but it's just handy to have two hands for these parts. So just prepare yourself for another jump. Okay, so now with that off, I'll be honest, this piece is supposed to screw out first, and this is supposed to remain in situ, but I'm guessing these are Loctited, or they're torqued beyond all fucking aspects of torque. So I just battled for a while, put it in a wet vice, and this is the remnants. So I'll give this a quick diesel wash and fit this piece first. Right, so just done with the diesel scrubbing. Now make sure the O-ring's still in good order. Like I say, that shouldn't actually leave. It should be retained in the engine. That shouldn't leave. So, right. I always put a bit of copper grease on them. Just give me a moment. Looks like the copper grease is in the other Range Rover as well, so I've got some lithium grease. Work the shaft. Right. Now, I always remove the bottom swivel pulley, the idler. Nice, nice. When you tighten the bolt on the front, it will tighten it into position as well, by the way. So don't panic that the back isn't tightened up, because that gets tightened up at the same time. So right, if you well, I suppose I'll do another bit of a jump here, because all I'm doing is tightening this up with the Stilsons. So I'll be back in just a second. Right, so next is the tensioner. Slaughter on at the top first. And then obviously put the bolts. It's quite difficult working around two iPhones and trying to get this in there. Anybody that's done this knows that this is quite tight. To be fair, this is the easy part. It's putting the bastard belt back on without taking the radiator cable out and everything. It is challenging. So tighten the top and bottom one up. Sorry about this, there'll be another skip. I'll just tighten these all the way up. Okay, so we're back. All those are tightened up. Now, obviously the fan bolt went for a reason. I don't know if it's because the Range Rover stood for a while, but the what do they call it? The symptom, I don't know. There's a reason it broke. So whenever you're dealing with anything like this, just check every pulley, every idler, make sure that they all spin nice. Water pump, yeah, sheet end's all good. That's the AC pump, but the AC belt didn't initially go. That's remains of the AC belt that you can see. So, right, I am happy enough that that's probably sorted that problem out. So next I'll put the belt on. These are awkward belts to put on at the best of times. So I'm not going to film actually putting the belt on, but what I am going to say will make sense. If anybody's going to try and do it, you have to push the belt through the crank pulley and the fan, and that goes onto the idler for the tensioner. I'll show you the final procedure on how to slacken the tensioner to put it on. You hook it over the alternator. That's the final this final pulley to pull it over. But this bit, there's going to be some abusive language because it is tedious and probably 15 minutes of fucking about with it. But at the end of the video, I'm going to show you, I've got a few engines already out. I'm actually rebuilding one there. Another P38 engine there, another one down there. So I'll show the belt pattern on them. Because Google does seem to show you, and an incorrect belt pattern somewhere along the lines. I had a customer, I don't know, 10 days ago, something like that. He did his own belt, and he said, the water pump exploded. It wasn't the water pump that exploded. He put the belt on wrong. You can tell, sort of, it looks correct in the picture, but you don't even need to really pull the tensioner. It'll just hook right onto the alternator, and then it'll run and it'll charge a battery. Everything looks all right. As soon as you give it any beans, it'll pull tension on the belt and snatch it and snap the belt. In his case, it seized up the water pump, snapped the water pump shaft. So yeah, I'll be back in another couple of seconds. Well, I'm back. It's not running the engine time. I found the fault, or at least what I assume to be the fault. That pulley is about at it. That's the idler for the AC belt. My guess is it must have gripped. I mean, you can see as it's worn a groove on it. Must have sucked the fan belt into it, knocked the fan belt out. I don't know, because there's a little piece of it still riding on the AC pump onto the crank, but that's put my mind at ease. That's not like obviously something happened. I can see a point of failure. So always, whenever you're swapping a fan belt, just check at every pulley. If they make a bit of a funny sound or they've got any side movement, swap them, like especially these idlers, because this is why it happens. I mean, you imagine you're going on holiday or whatever, going to work, bang. So